Hello everyone in my Project 3 classes. Welcome to this week's video lesson, and it is a big video lesson. So this week we have a lot going on. So there's a lot going on and I'm going to talk you through it all. So for the next 15-20 minutes, strap yourselves in, have fun, and let's learn a few things. Okay, so the first thing I want you all to look at, I need you to open your books. So I want you to open your books and open it to page 78. So page 78, and we're all about revision. Now, we are here. We are at what we call the summit. We're at the final, literally the final pages in the book, and we're looking at revision. Now, over the last number of weeks, when you're on page 78, I want you to look at this, and we'll be talking about this in this Friday's lesson. So on Friday's lesson, we will be talking about this in a lot more detail. So what we're looking at is, I want you to remember this: must, mustn't, don't have to. So you have must, mustn't, and don't have to. Now, these are what we call modals of obligation, which means we have to do it. So for example, when we see signs saying you mustn't smoke, you mustn't run, you must wear a hat, or at the minute with coronavirus, you must wear a mask. You must wear a mask, you must wear gloves, different things like that. That is all that we have to do with lots of modals with must, mustn't, don't have to. And it will be on your summer exam, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later on. Okay, on the other hand, we have the other modals, which are modals of advice or suggestions. Remember, should and shouldn't. Modals of suggestion or advice. So you said to friends, family, teacher, students, do you know what? I'm going to give you a piece of advice. I think you should do Trinity. Anyone who hasn't signed up for Trinity, I think you should do it, because it'd be very good for you to have, and it's a good qualification showing how well you speak in English. And then I will help you practice, and you'll be fantastic by the end of it. Okay, but remember to contact Will to make sure that you sign up for it. Okay, right. First things first. There are a few activities that I want to go through with you, that what we're going to be doing. So on page 78, which is this page here, revision page, unit 6, we're going to be doing a series of activities. Activity 1, 2A, 3A, and 3B. So I'm going to explain what you're going to have to do. So you have to complete the sentences with must, mustn't, or don't have to. You are going to have an activity, which on the left-hand side where it says grammar, look at the signs and read the notices and put the appropriate word or modal into that sentence. So it should be must, mustn't, don't have to. What does that say? I don't have to do anything. That's a joke. Maybe a bad joke, but it's a joke. Okay? In the second activity, you have to choose the correct word and answer only. So when you're choosing the correct word, you have to choose from two options. So for example, I've got a headache, or I've got the headache. Which one's which? Do the math. Okay? As I say, no mean to be mean. Okay, and in activity 3, match the expressions to the pictures. So you're going to have expressions in the pictures, which we'll be discussing tomorrow, and match the correct expression to the picture. And then you lot have to write advice. You have to write advice to this and write what you think is correct, the correct type of advice to give. What advice should you give? Think about it. And then you're going to create a dialogue using must or should. Okay, must, mustn't, don't have to, should or shouldn't. And make a mini dialogue and then demonstrate it to the class. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at in this. Now, one of the last things that we're going to be looking at in this term, we only have a few weeks left. It's hard to believe. I'm going to introduce you to a story. Now, my question is, are you ready for the arrival of a rugged seaman? Rugged seaman? A seaman is a captain, like Captain Hook, or a pirate, which is what this little reading is going to be about. Now, after tomorrow's lesson, I'll be sending you all an email with the text and the questions to this, which is called The Arrival of the Rugged Seaman. Now, my question to you is, do you know who Robert Louis Stevenson is? Do you know who he is? Well, if you don't know, if you do know and say he's a writer, you'd be correct. But if you don't know, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Robert Louis Stevenson was a Scottish novelist, poet and travel writer. In his novel Treasure Island, the main character, Jim Hawkins, describes his search for the treasure buried by a wicked pirate. Ooh, scandalous, as they say. So the name of the pirate is Captain Flint. The text that you will be reading is taken from the beginning of the story, at the very, very beginning. Jim remembers the arrival of a rugged seaman who came to the lodge at his father's inn. Now, this story has been done many times on TV, on films, different things like that. Another example, Muppet Treasure Island is a comical version of this. Okay? But I'm going to read out the story to you. And I want you to listen. And from that, you can listen and rewind and watch it again and again and again. And from that, you'll have the text and then the questions. Or when you get the email with the text and the questions, you can wait and listen then. If you want to, okay? So, here is the text. I remember him as if it were yesterday, as he came plodding to the inn door. His sea chest following behind him in a hand barrow. A tall, strong, heavy, nut-brown man, his tarry pigtail falling over the shoulder of his soiled blue coat. His hands ragged and scarred, with black broken nails and the sabre cut across one cheek. A dirty, livid white. I remember him looking round the cover and whistling to himself as he did so, and then breaking out in that old sea song that he sang so often afterwards. 15 men and on the dead man's chest, yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. In the high, old tottering voice that seemed to have been tuned and broken at the capstan bars, then he rapped on the door with a bit of a stick like a handspike that he carried, and when my father appeared, called roughly for a glass of rum. This, when it was brought to him, he drank slowly, like a connoisseur, lingering on the taste and still looking about him at the cliffs and up at our signboard. This is a handy cove, says he at length, and a pleasant situated grog shop. Much company, mate? My father told him no, very little company. The more was the pity. Well then, said he, this is the berth for me. Here you, matey, he cried to the man who trundled the barrow. Bring up alongside and help up my chest. I'll stay here a bit, he continued. I'm a plain man, rum and bacon, and eggs is what I want. And that's head up there, for to what ship's off. What you mought call me captain. Oh, I see where you're at. There. And he threw down 3 or 4 gold pieces on the threshold. You can tell me when I've worked through that, says he, looking as fierce as a commander. Okay, that is quite an interesting one. Now, some of the words you may not recognise because some of it is in older English or Old English, and that's why I'm going to explain some of the words now to you. I'm going to say some of the words now to you. And if you're not sure, also when I send the text, you will see I have also written the definitions of some of the words because some of them are difficult. So, let's talk about vocabulary because of Old English. So, let's look at the first one. The first word, plodding. Plodding, walking, plodding along. We have a hand barrow, which, according to the context, is a cart. So like a hand barrow is a type of cart, something that you move along. And then we have a tarry, because it's talking about its appearance, quite untidy, messy, different things like that. A sabre. Now, you might be familiar with saber-toothed tiger, a saber-tooth, which is a sword with a curved edge. A sword with a curved edge is a sabre. Livid, very real, or sometimes very angry, livid. Okay? A capstan is a revolving barrel, or a revolving barrel that brings a ship, a boat, up or down. Okay? A handspike. So handspike is a wooden spike which is used as a lever. So a lever is something that you pull or push to open the doors or close a door. Okay? A connoisseur, someone who is an expert at something. Books, a connoisseur of books. Usually connoisseur of wine, in this case a connoisseur of rum. Say no to rum. Okay? Connoisseur of rum or a connoisseur of food, bread, different things like that. I'm trying to be posh, but it doesn't work. Okay? A cove. A cove is like a place, or sometimes it refers to a cave-like structure. Okay? Now, situated. Okay, so that's what that literally means. Okay? A grog shop, I do beg your pardon, Old English referring to a shop. Don't ask me what specifically, but it does refer to a shop of some kind. A berth, which is like a place or a position. Now, a berth is usually where a boat is positioned when it comes in. When it comes in, like for example, where a plane arrives and departs, and same with a boat. A boat berths when it arrives and it leaves the berth when it departs. Okay. Another one is trundled. It's like to move, moved, trundled along. Okay. Mott is saying, right, I mott. On the threshold is literally through the front door. Through the front door. The front door is the threshold. You might hear anyone who, when you get married, I'll carry you through the threshold. Throw you over the shoulder and carry you in. And a commander is a leader. Commander is like the leader, captain, so on and so forth. Okay? I will send this to you, this story, by email, and you answer the questions and you send it back to me, because that will be homework for you for this week. Now, on to the very important thing. Next week, you will have your summer exam. Okay, so your summer exam next week will consist of 3 parts. Well, actually 4 parts, but over 3 days. 4 parts, 3 days. On Wednesday, the 27th of May, you will have your reading exam. On Thursday, the 28th of May, you will have your listening exam. And on Friday, the 29th of May, you'll have your speaking and writing exams, okay? I'm going to explain now how this is going to work. So your first exam will be your reading exam. So first group, my group A, the class that I teach at 3 p.m. to 3:40 p.m. on a Friday, your reading exam will be on Zoom at 4:30 to 5 o'clock. So you have to come on to Zoom at 4:30 to 5 o'clock. Then group B on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. My group here are 4 o'clock to 20 to 5 on Fridays. Your reading exam will be at 5:15 and it finishes at 5:45. Okay? This exam will be on Zoom. Once you come on, you start when I come on and you all come in, straight into the exam. And I'm going to explain how the instructions of that in a moment. Okay? How that will work. Now, your listening exam. Your listening exam will involve a YouTube video from myself, and you must watch the YouTube video between this time, and that is for both groups, between 3:30 and 4 o'clock on Thursday the 20th of May. You must watch it at that time and complete the questions, okay? Alright, so complete the questions and then you send it to me. Right, speaking exam. This is the important one. You all have different times on Zoom between 3 o'clock next Friday and 5:15. Okay? You must prepare. You have to prepare a topic, something that you want to talk about with myself, and also a conversation. Now, the conversation is one of the topics that I have been teaching you on the videos for the last 6 weeks. So it'll be 2 of those to have a conversation with, and a topic on a subject that you want to talk about. It can be your holidays. It can be something, your favourite singer, your favourite writer, anything. Let's have a chat, okay, about that. And your exam will last up to 10 minutes, okay? Up to 10 minutes, okay? I'll explain more of that in a moment. Okay, and then finally, your writing exam. Your writing exam, Group A, who have me at 3 o'clock to 3:40, your writing exam will be on Zoom next Friday at 6 o'clock to 6:30. Then Group B, who I have at 4 o'clock to 20 to 5 on a Friday, your exam will be at 6:45 to 7:15 next Friday. So it's very, very important that you come on to Zoom. So, what are the rules for this? You must go on to Zoom for all exams. You must go on to Zoom for all exams. You will receive, now another thing, you need to make sure you have a pen and paper, or a laptop computer, and a quiet place. You need to be in a quiet place to concentrate and to do your exam. You will receive your exam. For each exam, you will receive it 10 minutes before the starting time. So, for example, if your exam is at 4 o'clock, at 10 to 4, 3:50 p.m., you will receive an email from me saying, this is your reading exam, and you do not start until I say so. Then, after the exam is finished, you have 15 minutes after the exam to send it to me, okay? You have 15 minutes to send your exam to me, and I cannot stress this enough. If you do not send it in this time without a valid reason, there'll be severe penalties, okay? There'll be severe penalties, and possibly, I do not want to have to do this, but possibly you will end up with this, 0. So, word of advice, you must send your exam within 15 minutes after the exam finishes. Okay? So those are the main rules. Okay? So, and also, one last thing, remember, I will be watching during the exam sessions because I will be there when you're doing your exams. So remember, get it done. Okay? So it's very important. Now, one of the last things that I'm going to talk about today, and it's the last conversation topic in Trinity 5, and that is transport. So transport. Now, we use transport for loads of things. We use transport for lots of things. For example, we fly, we take boats, we drive a car, we walk, different things like that. But what does transport mean to you? I want you to think about this for a moment. I'm going to give you 3 questions to write, and I want you to write 2 questions to ask another student in the Zoom class, okay? So, my first question to you all is this. How do you normally travel around Lugo? How do you normally travel around Lugo? Okay. My second question is, what is your favorite type of transport and why? What is your favorite type of transport and why? And 3, to you, in your opinion, what is the best form of transport for the environment? What is the best form of transport for the environment and why? Okay, the last one's a more difficult one. If you're not sure, I will help you with that one. Okay, remember you need to come up with 2 questions to ask either myself or one of the other students in the class for the Zoom class. Okay, now last thing before I finish. Now, I want to say this to you. Remember, it's registration time. Get it in and done if you want to be in a class of mine. The other teachers are good, but I am the best. Get your registration in, as there's no time to second guess. Okay, just you remember that rhyme. It's time to get your registrations in ASAP. If you want to have me next year at the English school, get your registrations in. Okay, and as I say, the English school, hashtag the English school 2020-2021. I hope to see you there. So that's all I'm going to say on that. And all is left for me to say is, well, good work. Hope you enjoy the video. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. All right, see you soon. Bye. Bye.